Hey friends, so it is story time, and I am going to tell you a little bit about my life and my inspirations and something that has happened to me in the past couple of days that I'm very, very, very thankful for. As you guys know, I love playing guitar. I started playing guitar in 7th grade, and I wasn't very good, of course, starting out, and by other family members, I've actually been told that I will never be good enough. But there was always, and I also had people make fun of me whenever they found out that I play guitar, saying I suck. And, of course, they weren't really my friends. But there was one person in particular that always lifted up my spirits with my, the confidence that I needed to play guitar, and that was my grandfather. And my grandfather has always been there for me. Whenever I got bullied in high school, or not high school, whenever I got bullied in elementary school and middle school, he was always that person that was either at the bus stop or, waiting for me at home, and I would get bullied every day, but I still came home to my best friend, which was a very, very, very good feeling, because after getting bullied in school, you come home and you don't have anyone that really sucks, and it sucks a lot. And my grandfather was just, he was pretty much my father. He was there for me the most, and he just, I can go on forever on how great he is. But what really got to happen with this, with my life, is he told me I can do whatever I put my mind to. And there was one thing that we said, that I was sitting on his couch, and it was, I think it was 8th grade. I was listening to Guns N' Roses, and I told him Paradise City was like one of my favorite solos, and I said, no one, if anyone can play that solo, they are a guitar god. And my grandfather told me, he strictly told me, he said, you can be a guitar god if you just try. And that, I told him, I was like, I don't believe you. Kind of like, ha, you're so funny. But he really did mean it, and that was very touching. And 9th grade, he passed away. This is his picture. His name was Barney. Yeah, just like the dinosaur. And he was my rock. And he was the reason why I actually enjoyed my life. And when he passed away, the only thing I really had to do was play guitar. And I started playing a lot. Why? Because he said I can put whatever my mind to whatever I want to. And it was the only friendship I felt like I had that wouldn't let me down. I had so many friends and then they completely are stupid because we were so young, and it was a very hard time. And I started playing, and I didn't have many friends. And it was junior year when things started to get better. And I had someone that cared about me very much, like we were going out, and like that was great. But this one kid, he's actually still one of my friends, this kid Kenny came up to me, and he was like a popular kid, and he had all these cool friends, and he actually came up to me and said, oh my god, you're that kid that I have your MySpace, and you are a guitar god. And the moment he said that, I got really weird, because I was like, he just said something that only my grandfather told me that I could be, and it's not like Kenny and my grandfather ever talked, and no one ever planned that. So it was very touching. And what happened was, I told him thank you, and I was very flattered, and I went home and I could not believe what he said, and I was just very like, I'm doing exactly what my grandfather told me I can do. And my senior year, I met this kid Mikey, and he's my drummer now. We hit it off pretty well, and I asked him, do you want to play a song with the talent show? And he said, what song? And it just hit my head. You know, senior year was my greatest year, and people were actually starting to respect me for me, and I was getting a lot of friends for who I am, not just what I look like and then whatever. And there was only one song I had to do, and that was Paradise City. And I asked Mikey, and Mikey doesn't listen to old rock, and he was totally down for it. It was just the greatest feeling. And I was nervous, so nervous. But we actually performed it, and I was going to mess up this one part. I knew I was, and I even told my teacher I'm gonna mess up. He said, just try your best. I'm sure no one's gonna notice. Super nervous, and this part came on during the solo, which is just extremely fast part, and I'm not the fastest player in the world. And somehow, all the practices I played on stage, I totally nailed it. I don't know how I did it, but it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, my grandfather was right, and I worked so hard, 3 hours each night for over 4 months, playing this solo over and over and over to make sure I did it right. And even though it was a school talent show, it's still one of the biggest highlights of my life. And a lot of people thought I was doing it to show off, and it's like, if they only knew this was only for my grandfather, because the whole chorus is like, take me down to Paradise City, grass is green and the girls are pretty, but like, it wasn't about that at all. But it's very touching. Now you see how much this guy means to me, right? And he barely played guitar. He actually played a little bit and actually never pursued it. Pursued it. And another story about this is what it's going to is he was the only grandfather I ever had that was around. My grandfather Walt, that was never around because he actually passed away before I was born, I never got to meet. And what's even more is how my grandfather Barney inspired me to play guitar, but he didn't even play guitar. Now, this is my grandfather Walt, and he was a full-blown musician. And though I have never got to meet him, I've been told that we are very, very, very much alike. And it's hard to believe that someone could be more like me than my other grandfather, and I think they both probably would have been equal. And even though I've never met Walt, this guy means a lot to me because the fact that he pursued music, and he actually had his own music store, which is down the street in between me and my drummer's house. Of course it closed because, you know, business and the change of times, and he got older. But as you can see, this is my grandfather Walt, and that is his not ESP. I always say ESP. Epiphone F250 hollow body, and this, you know, he's in the newspaper for this, and he played guitar as his main instrument and played many others. And my dad tried playing guitar, and he didn't do it. He didn't pursue it. And my other two aunts played piano and played drums, and they both quit, and they didn't pursue it. So it kind of like skipped a generation, I guess. I don't know. But he was very into music, and when he passed away, the only thing he passed down was, the only thing that they decided to keep was his most prized possession thing, and it was that guitar, because, you know, we played guitar all the time. And I actually got to see it a long time ago, and I mean, it was awesome because it's a very old guitar with my grandfather I never met that played guitar, and I also play guitar, and it was like a connection. And as I've gotten older now, and as you've seen so many videos and guitars I have, my aunt and uncle definitely know that I play, and they knew that I'm taking it to the full extent of it is my life. I would choose this over anything in the world to pursue music. And luckily, my Uncle Irvin is freaking awesome, and he's very, very, very understanding about how my music is. Every time we go out to dinner as a family, it's always me and him talking about Marshalls and what Telecaster Stevie Ray Vaughan used. It's fun. I love that man. But I talked to him the other day, and I told him, you know, I would really love to have Walt's guitar and actually, you know, bring the whole family legacy together of, you know, as a guitarist. And how awesome would that be to play someone else's guitar from your family into your music as today? And last 4th of July, which was only a few days ago, he just gave me this guitar, and I will show it to you now because I'm so excited. I cannot believe that it is now considered, you know, mine, and I can treat it, and I have it covered, and ta-da! This is an Epiphone, let me make sure, EA 250, basically a Gibson 335, and this is, I believe, a 1976. And that is very old. And basically, when he died, they put it in the case, and Irvin took really good care of it by cleaning it and everything. And I mean, you can see, perfect. The binding's coming off just a little bit over there, but it's a bolt-on, and it's made in Japan, and it's very different. And my drummer actually has a Gibson version that is a 76. Which we both played together, and he was very psyched about this. He thought this was awesome because it's my grandfather's. But see, it's so shiny and new. I cleaned it, but I will play it for you so you can see. And you can see that picture again. See, that's the same guitar. Woo! So here we go. I'll play it. Alright, so I am going to be playing through an Orange Rock Reverb 100 Mark II, and my grandfather's guitar, 100% completely stock, besides the strings. And I'm just going to fiddle around with the tone so you can actually see what a vintage guitar sounds like. Alright, so I'm a little too close, and that's why it's starting to feedback, because I'm turning it up too much. But as you can tell, this sounds actually very, very, very pretty. So I definitely think the Smeals, I think I said that right, they are my uncle and aunt that took care of this, and they took very good care of this. And I'm very, very, very thankful that they did not get rid of it or give it to someone else that would not take good care of it. As you guys know, I'm definitely going to take care of it. And do not even comment that you will buy this from me, because I will stab you in the neck with anything. This is not for sale, so do not ask me. This guitar is one of the biggest trophies I can ever ask for. Yes, it's not a Gibson, and it's not worth $3,000, but it's because my grandfather that I never got to meet was the owner of this, and I think that is awesome. And I honestly could not find another better story to, And no, I will not be playing crazy heavy metal with it, even though I bet you it can. But I will show you too, so it is an honor, and I think this is pretty cool, is my Uncle Ron. He was another guy that I never got to... he was around, and we just started getting to know each other, and he said, oh, I don't play guitar anymore, I will give you mine. And he actually passed away before he even got it to me. And it was just very sad, because I was like, we were just now like starting to hit it off and talk about music and everything, and he passed away. But my Aunt Anne gave me his guitar, and it is an Epiphone, what is it? Epiphone Quartz. And this is another old Epiphone that is made, it's a USA one, and it's made, I forgot what year it is, but I know it's around the same year. And it's an acoustic, and I just think that's very awesome that, they gave me it too. It's definitely staying in the family, and no one has to buy it, because I'll stab you in the neck too. But I think that's awesome. And then what's funny is, so I've always wanted to own a hollow body, but I didn't want to buy one and then end up, if I somehow did get this one, it would be such a waste of money. And then I would have to sell it and sell the one I bought, because I'm not selling that one. But yeah, I think another cool part too is, so I have those two, and this is my grandfather's. I've showed you in the other videos before. This is his acoustic. It's just a Mark. That's a company they stopped making, but that's not what that's one. It's a classical guitar. So I have 3 different guitars from 3 different family members that are all male, that they gave it to me, to, like, I guess their will, and those are pretty much like my 3 most like touching guitars. Like, it's very, I don't know, I get very touchy because it's like they passed away. But what's very, very, very cool though, on the bright side, is it's almost like this was meant to happen in a way. That is an old Epiphone vintage guitar that's an acoustic. This is an old Epiphone vintage guitar that is a hollow body. I also have my 21-year-old Epiphone Les Paul made in Korea, Japan, USA, and then I just bought, but I'm probably not going to keep it because I have too many guitars now. I have an Epiphone SG, but this one's made in China, and it's a 2003, so it doesn't really, it looks the oldest as an electric, but I think it's cool that I have pretty much a collection of old Epiphones. And I do actually have an Epiphone collection where they're not a piece of shit. They all play really nice. I actually prefer that acoustic over almost anything as of sound. But and another thing too, I want to describe or tell people: do not expect a guitar from somebody as a gift, like as if someone passes away and you get it as a gift. I consider it as something that is a part of them that is given to you. I don't want people to think like, oh, he's so lucky that his whole family's died and given him his guitars, because honestly, I would give that guitar and I would give all my guitars away to have my grandfather back. And even the one that I never got to meet, like that's definitely something like I would have loved to have that opportunity. And when you die, none of these guitars are going with me. So hopefully somebody will have a kid in this family and I can pass them down to them. And then sooner or later, we're going to have the coolest collection in the world, especially after me because I have too many. But yeah, guys, this isn't a thing out of luck. I would snap my custom SG in a heartbeat just to have my grandfather back. But that can't happen, so, and I know he wouldn't want me to break it if that can't happen, so. But anyway, story time's over. You can check out my videos below, follow my Instagram, and have a great night, guys. Bye.